Today we're going to talk about something that's a lot of fun. It's going to be our very first API, and what we're going to be doing is calling a service that allows us to use some functions without having to maintain any servers. So I'm going to get into the portal and we'll get started. This is creating and using an Azure function and creating a serverless API. I'm Bob Rapp and I'm with Hybrid Cloud Gurus. So serverless frees us up from needing to manage servers, gives us flexibility to use resources only when they're required. And there's a great conference that just occurred in New York City with some of my friends and colleagues, and I've got a URL here. And a Cloud Guru is a founder and sponsor of the conference. So today we're going to do three things. They're really easy. If you're not a developer, if this is the first time you've used Azure, don't worry, it's going to be easy. Number one, we're going to create an Azure function. That's going to set up an environment that allows us to call a serverless function. In this case, we're going to use a little script to show words on a web page. Secondly, we're going to create that HTTP responder. So we're going to have a question, we're going to give text input, and finally we're going to say the words, "Keep being awesome." All right, so I'm at portal.azure.com, and I'm going to create a function app. And a function app is a way for me to use a pre-built environment that I don't have to manage to get some work done. And in this case, we're going to use it to generate a little HTTP code. So I'm using my subscription, and the resource group I've already created, a Cloud Guru 100, and I'm going to call this Keep Being Awesome HTTP string. Whoops, how about string? Now, if you're not a developer, don't worry, this is easy. I'm running this in .NET Core. I'm going to leave it in Central US, which is my default here in the US. And I'm going to let Azure create a storage account. And because it's .NET Core, I'm going to use Windows. And the plan I'm using is the default consumption plan. So I'm going to create an application insight for monitoring. And I'm also going to use a tag, which is a department, which is a Cloud Guru development, because I need to know who to build this to. So I'm going to review this. And assuming that everything's okay, it's going to say create. Now this takes, by the way, about 4 to 5 minutes, so it's 10:22 in the morning. And I'm not going to have you wait and look at all the things that are going on. But just remember that if you're watching the console, when you look at this little blue button where my cursor is, you see that there's a line that's going from left to right. When that line stops, your deployment is done. All right, Cloud Gurus. Well, hey, good news. The deployment is complete. And if we want to look at the details, you can see that a website with a storage account and some components were created for my .NET resource. So I'm going to go to my resource now, and now I'm going to write a little bit of code. Now, if you are not comfortable with coding, don't worry. This is really easy because a lot of this is done for us. So I'm going to create a new function. And there's a bunch of ways we can do it. I typically use Visual Studio, but in this case I'm going to do it in the portal so we can all test this and do this ourselves. Now I could use a webhook or a timer, but there's a bunch of other sample templates that I like, and I'm going to show you the easiest one because I want this to be super successful for you. So we're going to use an HTTP trigger, and that is just a little tiny app, and I'm going to say keep being awesome. If I can type awesome. And I'm going to use anonymous for the security because actually this is a very low risk operation. Use good security if it's not. And I'm going to change in here the string to hello Cloud Gurus. And then I'm going to save this. Okay. And then we're just going to get the function URL. You saw that right there. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it into right here, and then I'm just going to say name equals. So I did a question mark, name equals, and I'm going to say keep being awesome. Can't seem to type awesome today. And you saw that hello Cloud Gurus, keep being awesome is what happened. So really simple. It's, by the way, this is our first little bit of code for some of us. If you're not big on coding, that's okay. There's a lot of good examples. I just want to encourage you to keep being awesome, Cloud Gurus. We just did our first function, and it took us less than 10 minutes. Anybody can do it. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm Bob Rapp. All right, that was it. We created and used an Azure function and created a serverless API. We have more information from Serverless Conference. Function, responder, test. Thank you. Keep being awesome, Cloud Gurus. Bob Rapp. If you have any questions, reach out. Thanks a lot.